Good morning, TrotCon Online. Welcome to day 2 of TrotCon. It wasn't the first panel of the day, but close to it. It's early. I was up late. I have my coffee that I just got. Thank you to the good Thoth Penswell for pouring it, and for our tech crew for brewing it. Today we're going to talk about the one and only Rainbow Dash. Welcome to the curious case of Rainbow Dash. So let me explain a little bit about what we're going to talk about today here. So I had this idea to do this panel way back in 2019. I actually have some notes scribbled out of just doing this Rainbow Dash panel, and I kind of it got shelved for a bit because we all pandemic hit, we all had to stay inside, and couldn't, figure out exactly how I wanted to do this in this panel. And then gearing up for panels for 2021, I was like, it's finally time to pull this out, because I felt that this was a topic we needed to talk about here, because I know so many people who have such differing opinions on Rainbow Dash, and I'm like, it is time to look into the character that is Rainbow Dash. Before we get started, I do want to mention that I do enjoy Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash is my mouse pad here. Rainbow Dash, when I first got into the series way back in 2013, Rainbow Dash was my favorite pony for a while. Now, when Slice of Life aired, that changed. And sorry, Rainbow Dash fans, but Bon Bon holds a special place in my heart. But that being said, I always had an affinity for Rainbow Dash. But I understood and also know there are so many people and some good friends of mine that not only don't like Rainbow Dash, but I would say can't stand Rainbow Dash. So I figured it was a good thing to take a look at this character, and we're going to take a look and analyze the character of Rainbow Dash throughout the entirety of the series and find out, who is Rainbow Dash exactly? So in preparation for this panel, I talked to a bunch of my friends and colleagues, and I asked them to give me words they would use to describe Rainbow Dash. And here's a few of those words here. You'll notice they're a little all over the place. We've got passionate, inspirational, awesome, loyal, witty. We also have cocky, annoying, uninspired, underdeveloped, brash. I've had at least 3 people tell me brash. Some of these words got repeated over and over. So obviously there is such a disconnect between pony fans when it comes to Rainbow Dash. What is she? Who is she? I think she's a little bit of all of these things here. And we're going to really get into it. We're going to take a look deep into it. And, well, let me put it this way. I understand people that are critical of Rainbow Dash to an extent. I mean, let me put it this way. We've had a joke in the fandom for a bit, haven't we?
Hey, all of us have some depth to our characters. I don't.
Yeah, that one. So, bottom line here, that's what we're getting at here. The number one critique I get about Rainbow Dash from those who don't like her is that she seems too one-note, she doesn't learn her lessons, she doesn't grow, she keeps repeating mistakes. Now, granted, we've seen in episodes like in our episode where the journal gets distributed out to everybody. It's Fame and Misfortune. We get to see a representation that, not everybody learns a lesson all at once. Now, we deal with that with Fluttershy in that episode. But let's take a look throughout the series at the core of Rainbow Dash. So in order to do that, what I did was went through the series and wrote down every single Rainbow Dash-centric episode. And we are going to go through them in order. So, we're going to start here with Season 1. Usually the best place to start is right at the beginning. Now, let's talk about some things in Season 1 that develop the core of the character of Rainbow Dash. And really, in order to do that best, I'm going to actually look at a clip from this series premiere.
Excuse me? Let me help you. Oops, I guess I overdid it. How about this? My very own patented Rain Blow Dry. No, don't thank me. You're quite welcome. Let me guess. You're Rainbow Dash. The one and only. Why? You heard of me? I heard you're supposed to be keeping the sky clear. I'm Twilight Sparkle, and the princess sent me to check on the weather. Yeah, that'll be a snap. I'll do it in a jiffy, just as soon as I'm done practicing. Practicing for what? The Wonderbolts! They're gonna perform at the celebration tomorrow, and I'm gonna show them my stuff. The Wonderbolts? Yup. The most talented flyers in all of Equestria? That's them. Please, they'd never accept a Pegasus who can't even keep the sky clear for one measly day. Hey, I could clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. Prove it. Loop around and wham! What'd I say? 10 seconds flat. I'd never leave Ponyville hanging. You should see the look on your face. You're a laugh, Twilight Sparkle. I can't wait to hang out some more.
So, let's talk about that moment. That is the first time we meet Rainbow Dash in the series. The first 2 minutes we spend with Rainbow Dash tells us a lot about the character that we are going to spend the next, 9 seasons with. So let's talk about what we saw in there. We see a Pegasus pony who is, we see a lot about her sense of humor, her form of resourcefulness, and grabbing the cloud to, kind of wash off Twilight. I've always wanted to see that Twilight hairdo again. In the series, we never got to. I think that's unfortunate, but, I thought it was fun. We see that. We get to see about her. Here's the interesting thing. The way that Rainbow Dash kind of has that, yeah, I'll take care of it later, lying on that cloud. I would posit that I feel there's a little bit of that sense of procrastination that gets developed. I wouldn't call it laziness. We all know Rainbow Dash loves to take naps. And that's kind of a part of her personality, really, is taking those breaks and such. It's almost like a cat, I'd almost joke, where they are very active, highly efficient, as long as they sleep for 15 hours a day. So, so now, here's the other thing, too, in that scene. And now, the other thing is, it gets into, She wants to be French, she wants to be jovial, she wants to bring Twilight in somehow. And Spike, really, and just going that, and you're a laugh riot, I can't wait to hang out more. There's more there than just, this brash pony. But we also see, and we also see her athleticism. We see the fact that she can get the job done, sometimes just on her terms. These are themes we're going to see throughout this presentation, throughout the series, when it comes to Rainbow Dash. The last thing I want to mention about that scene is the fact that it starts off with Rainbow Dash literally crashing into Twilight. I don't think I have to say it if you're a Rainbow Dash fan and you're watching this, but let's face it. Crash is a theme. We're going to explore that more as we keep going. So let's talk about here as we go through Season 1. You're going to notice here, the way I made this timeline is any episode that is on the top of the bar is a Rainbow Dash centric episode. Any episode on the bottom of the bar is an episode where I think that Rainbow Dash shows some interesting character traits or some interesting moments throughout the episode, but it's not a Rainbow Dash centric episode. So we're going to focus on the ones on top here, mainly because I don't have 3 hours to present this. I have another panel to do in an hour, but we're going to focus on the ones up top and discuss them as we go here and talk about the overall themes. Now, Season 1, we're developing this character still, developing who she is. Griffin the Brush-Off gives us a sense of Rainbow Dash's love for pranks, but also her loyalty. Let's face it, I really feel that loyalty shows off in that episode very strongly, because Rainbow Dash knows to be loyal to the kind of like the good-hearted, good-natured people of Ponyville, when Gilda presents herself to be not so much that. We'll come back to Gilda, of course, later in Season 5, but some interesting things in that episode, definitely to say, and that's the one big takeaway I want for now. We may come back to this one later. I really do want to talk about Fall Weather Friends, though, because we develop another piece of Rainbow Dash's personality in Fall Weather Friends. Let's take a look.
Yeehaw! It's a ringer. That's how we do it down here on the farm. I lost. Don't feel bad, Rainbow. It's all in good fun. I hate losing. Besides, you're a mighty good athlete. I'm just bitter.
All right, Applejack. You think you're the top athlete in all of Ponyville?
Well, I was gonna say in all of Equestria, but that might be Gilda and the Lily.
And I think I'm the top athlete. So let's prove it.
Prove what?
I challenge you to an Iron Pony competition. A series of athletic contests to decide who's the best once and for all.
You know what, Rainbow? You're on.
All right. Rainbow Dash's competitive spirit is obviously huge. Her competitive nature is a very big driving force here. Her competitive spirit also lends into something we did see in our previous clip from the beginning there about her goal setting and competitive nature. Rainbow Dash has her eyes fixed on the prize of becoming a Wonder Ball. And that's huge. That drives a lot of her character development because she wants to be the best. And let's face it, I feel like a lot of the lessons that she learns are driven by that. By that, I want to become the best. Like, honestly, it's funny because I've seen so many Rainbow Dash Pokemon crossover art. In fact, back in, I want to say, 2015, I did what I called a Rainbow Ash cosplay, where it was Ash Ketchum with the Rainbow Dash wig and the wings and the tail. It was fun. I don't have a picture handy. I'm sure I could find it later if y'all really want to see it. So, suffice to say here, though, not only do we get a sense for her competitive nature and the fact that she hates to lose, This also really tells us a lot about her relationship with Applejack. Rainbow Dash and Applejack's relationship really builds up over the series in a very interesting way. They're always kind of kindred spirits in a way, just kindred souls that understand each other, that I feel in a way that you don't get it with a lot of the other characters. We're going to talk about, in some of the later seasons here, we're going to talk about the fact of how Rainbow Dash and some of the other characters get along. And it's going to be interesting. I want you to think that in the back of your mind, comparing how Rainbow Dash interacts with Applejack in the series compared to how Rainbow Dash has some other encounters with some other ponies. This is going to be important. There will be a quiz. No, there's no quiz. But we can't finish talking about season 1 without talking about Sonic Rainboom, arguably the quintessential Rainbow Dash episode, where we get to see 2 other traits about Rainbow Dash. First, we got to see this.
Wonder how come we haven't seen Rainbow Dash or Rarity yet. The competition's almost over.
Number 15, let's go! Rarity is ready. Look, ladies, I don't know what to tell you. There's only time for one more performance. If you both want to compete, you'll just have to go out there together. Well, Rainbow Dash, shall we?
And now, for our final competitor of the day, contestant number 15! And thirdly, contestant number 4.
All right. Let's talk about anxiety, guys. Anxiety can hit you in so many different ways. I have suffered from generalized anxiety disorder as long as I can remember. And I honestly think that one of the reasons that I have always kind of gravitated towards Rainbow Dash, especially at the beginning of the series, is what we see in this episode, that this is somebody that presents themselves as they present themselves very sure of themselves, but that seeming confidence lies kind of a scared girl underneath that is afraid of failure. And honestly, I think failure is one of the biggest fears many of us have. And it's a natural anxiety-inducing element, right? Like, we all have that to an extent. Some of us even more than others. And I've used that clip, that very clip, in multiple Keeping Friendship Magic presentations to talk about this. Because when it comes to anxiety here, sometimes some people I think could look at that episode and that scene and could say, oh, that's just overdoing it, whatever. Rainbow Dash in the fetal position, kind of like shaking. And I'm like, not really. The way anxiety hits your brain, it shuts you down. It gets physical. It's physical, mental, and emotional when it truly hits home. And I can remember being a kid and being just, for all intents and purposes, kind of being scared of the outside world and balling myself up in my bed over the summer when, like, I was a little kid. I should have been playing with my friends. Nope. There I was, balled up in my bed, hiding from the world, scared. I remember peeking out my window as a kid and, like, looking at the outside world and just wishing it was more than what I was getting. And being afraid, I think, of that failure of, if I try to do more, I'm going to fail. And we saw that. But this is something that's in Rainbow Dash. They want to be this great thing, but almost in that over competitiveness, does it also set her up even more so for that anxiety where, if I can't be the best, am I good enough type of thing. And I'm going to tell you all out there, yes, you're more than good enough. Hell, anyone that's in the chat right now, you got up at this early hour to watch my panel. You're cool. So, but there's a lot to take away there. And I think one of the things here to take away is that even some of the most confident seeming people on the surface have some internal struggles that they're dealing with. So never let somebody present themselves as better than you, because everyone has some form of suffering going on in their lives, whether we know it or not. Now, speaking of all of this, though, let's talk about overcoming anxiety when it really counts. I'm keeping it on this shot for a moment. So, doing what it takes when it's needed, throwing caution to the wind, being there for your friends and the people you care about when they need you most, and pushing yourself beyond what you thought you could do. That is what we saw in Sonic Rainbow. We see Rainbow Dash save the Wonderbolts and Rarity, and in doing so, you can see that moment where she says, whoa, it's that I can't believe I managed to do this. Coming back, seeing all this, the adulation here, and the tearing up of like, oh my gosh, I really did do it. Especially for anybody who deals with anxiety, it is one of the most powerful feelings of I managed to overcome it and do this. You know, it's like, if you'd asked me when I was younger if I was going to be like on stages presenting to people about this stuff, I'd have said you were freaking nuts. And one day I was like, no, I need to do this thing. And I pushed myself, and now I've been doing this for a while. So you can do it. We all can do it. Sometimes we need a push. Hopefully it's not our friends falling to their imminent doom, but we can do it. And that's what this episode showed us. So, Season 1 obviously wraps up. We had Over a Barrel, where I really thought that that was a very interesting look here at a lot of things. I really thought Rainbow Dash's character was very interesting in that episode, and the way that she jives with Little Strongheart and the Buffalo, and then tries to kind of keep the peace there when she realizes what's happening. I loved that. Cutie Mark Chronicles is obviously important because we all learn about how the initial Sonic Rainboom brought the friends together. But let's get going into Season 2, because I think I'm already 25 minutes into the panel, and we still have 8 seasons to talk about. So let's go into speed mode in a little bit. May the best pet win. Very, very interesting episode here. I can actually say, I know for a fact, I think Nova Rose might still be in bed, or at least getting ready for the day. But I know for a fact it's one of her favorite episodes, and it's actually a really fun one to watch. And we learned something interesting about Rainbow Dash in that episode, too.
The Falcon sure does look cool. He's absolutely everything I wanted in a pet.
Yay?
But I said whoever crosses the finish line with me gets to be my pet.
You did say that! She did say that! That was the rule!
And the only racer who crossed the finish line with me was the one who stopped to save me when I needed help. The tortoise! Spike, take a letter. Dear Princess Celestia, I used to think that the most important traits to look for in a pet, or any best friend, were all physical competitive abilities. But now I can see how short-sighted and shallow that was. Today I learned what the most important quality really is. A certain kind of spirit. A stick-to-itiveness. A never-give-up, can-do attitude that's the mark of a real winner. And this tortoise has it. Tenacity. Kuzmak, you just can't stop that little guy. He's like a tank.
Of note, military-grade weaponry is canon in Equestria, everybody. But I digress. It always makes me laugh when I think about the fact that the tortoise is named Tank, and it's literally because Rainbow Dash says that he's like a tank. Anyway, I mean, Rainbow Dash really summed it up in what she said about learning that there was more to it than what she thought. And honestly, it's interesting when you think about this one as a companion piece almost to Sonic Rainboom, where Sonic Rainboom, she's kind of learning about pushing herself when she needs to help save a friend. And that she sees it in others, in Tank, when Tank does what's needed to save Rainbow Dash. So it definitely adds something to her character. Almost, I would say, a sense of humility she learns in that episode. But then the very next episode, well, yeah.
I motion that Rainbow Dash be declared the most awesome pony in Ponyville.
I second the motion. And might I add that if you looked up the word awesome in the dictionary, there would be a picture of Rainbow Dash.
I object. I think the word awesome is played out. Rainbow Dash deserves better. I motion that we declare her the most stupendous pony.
Stupendous? Is that the best you got? I motion that we declare her wonderific,
Astonishing.
breathtaking,
Astounding.
bedazzling.
What about super ultra extreme awesome amazing?
All in favor of declaring Rainbow Dash the most super ultra extra, whatever you said, pony in all of Ponyville, say aye.
So, yeah. Now, let's talk about that for a second here. Rainbow Dash. A lot of people look at this episode. A lot of people don't like Mysterious Mare do well. I actually kind of enjoy it. Obviously has a very big lesson for Rainbow Dash in the end. Again, about humility. Second week in a row. Let's learn about humility, Rainbow Dash. And, you know, Rainbow Dash craves validation, I would say. That attention, that kind of that point of craving attention, right? And we see it. And when you see moments like this, I go, no wonder there are people that don't like Rainbow Dash. Because, let's face it, if you've ever met somebody who seems so full of themselves and I'm so great, it is frankly annoying, right? Frankly annoying. Now, that being said, we're still early in the series, so she's still learning. She can still keep learning these lessons here. You don't learn everything all at once. And we've talked about Rainbow Dash's internal anxieties too. And if there's one thing I can tell you as somebody who has suffered from anxiety, craving that validation is a very real thing. You know, anytime I get like And if I ever get a compliment, if I ever have somebody come up to me after a panel and say thank you, or this was great, or I see somebody say something nice about me on Twitter, it's like, you know, that little just, like, people, like, for me to know that people care and want to watch and see my content is a big thing, and that it can touch people. It like it warms my soul in a way that I cannot even express to you. And that's kind of my form of it. It's not exactly sitting outside of my own fan club and eavesdropping and trying to get them to say more awesome things about me. But I think to an extent, we all want to hear that. We just won't go to that extreme. So I can understand to an extent, but it goes a little far. But it goes a little far is an interesting set of words that we're probably going to get again. Rainbow Dash in last roundup, going for Applejack, and really kind of like this interesting sense there of like, it shows her as the element of loyalty, I think, because she's fighting for bringing Rainbow or Applejack back to the farm and back to Ponyville and her friends in a way of like I'm being so loyal to you and I need to understand what's happening and I need to fight for you. Kind of that sense of bringing Rainbow Dash and Applejack together more. Just something to think about. Read it and weep. Awesome. Read it and weep. I love that episode. The introduction to Daring Do, Rainbow Dash learning that it's cool to read and having to challenge her misconceptions about, well, eggheads. And, you know, I need to read more. I'm not gonna lie. But, hey, you know what? It's cool to be a nerd. It's freaking cool to be a nerd. I said it. I believe it. You can also be athletic and nerdy. Why not, right? I know I want to keep going here, so I want to get into season 3 here, but again, Hurricane Fluttershy, another great example of how she kind of sticks by Fluttershy and tries to encourage her, and she was even going to let her not fly with the rest of the Pegasi until Fluttershy said she would do it. There's a moment, she tries to convince her, and then there's a moment where she goes to back away and say, I will respect your wishes, until Fluttershy says, I want to do it. But I think that's the thing of, like, Rainbow Dash in Dragonshy in the first season really is annoyed by Fluttershy, but I think as her character develops, for the most part, she seems to kind of take Fluttershy, like, I want to say under her wing, not in the way that she does with a certain other character we're going to talk about in a moment, but in a sense that there is an understanding that there is more to Fluttershy than just this scaredy pony. There's more to her than that, and Rainbow Dash understands that and often defends Fluttershy's honor. Hell, that's how we got the original Sonic Rainbow, am I right? So let's move into season 3 here, and I only have one clip that I'm going to play from season 3 here as I try to kind of speed through the rest of the series here, but we learn about an important role that Rainbow Dash plays. We talked about her as an athlete, we talked about her as a friend. Let's talk about Rainbow Dash as a mentor for one moment, shall we?
I'm so sorry, Rainbow Dash. I just wanted you to hang out with me and see how cool I was, so you'd take me under your wing, teach me everything you know, and become like my big sister. But then you started telling those spooky stories, and I got scared. I thought I heard the headless horse, so I ran out here by myself, and... well, I guess you know the rest. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, but if you ever tell any pony else, I'm gonna deny it.
First time I heard those stories, I was scared too.
You were?
Sure. I mean, I got over it because I realized pretty quick that if there was such thing as a headless horse, I could totally take it on. So, you're looking for some pony to take you under their wing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might be up for something like that.
Really?
As long as you don't go the middle of the night.
It's a deal.
Rainbow Dash willingly accepting the role of just mentor of Scootaloo in that kind of like older sister mentor way. It really is an important piece of her character here. Realizing lessons she needs to learn about herself in order to teach Scootaloo those lessons. And they keep coming up throughout the series, and it's a thing that keeps coming up over and over again, because one of the key things here about her role as mentor is that it's not just that Rainbow Dash is perfect and has to take somebody under her wing, literally, to do it. It's Rainbow Dash, in learning her own lessons, teaches Scootaloo lessons to help her. And isn't that what life is really all about? Is being able to learn lessons not just for your own sake, but to also help others to be better. I mean, that's big. And especially when you're able to kind of let your guard down with somebody, that's when you really connect. And that's when you really get to show kind of like your true spirit to somebody. And Rainbow Dash does that with Scootaloo. It's not all about being awesome. It's about helping to prepare Scootaloo for the world around her and showing Scootaloo that she's more than she believes in of herself. Wonderbolt's Academy is another interesting episode here where we finally get to see more of this development of this Wonderbolt arc, and Rainbow Dash learns an important lesson about safety and just protection of other ponies. Again, loyalty. I know it is so easy to make the joke that the common joke we've heard over and over is that Applejack should have been loyalty and Rainbow Dash should have been honesty. But think about how many times I've talked about loyalty already, and we're only halfway through season 3. So here's the other thing too. If each of our characters did not get challenged in some way by their about their element, if they weren't challenged of, can I remain loyal, can I remain honest, can I remain kind in these situations and what it truly means, would we have had an interesting series? I bet not. And we sure as heck wouldn't have had season 4 at all. Because season 4, the whole crux of season 4 is that every one of the main 6 had to face a challenge relating to the element that they represented here. And in doing so, they learn more about themselves, and they get the keys to the chest with the tree to encourage, to defeat Tirek, to build a castle of friendship, to get the map. All of that, we wouldn't have had that if they just, they're loyal and that's all they are. Well, that's a boring character. You need more than that. So yes, they're going to stumble and they're going to fall, but they're going to learn. Characters with flaws is how we all learn. Obviously, Rainbow Falls is where we get a lot of that here. Rainbow Falls, we see, Rainbow Dash struggling to choose who to fly with. And an important thing I want to note here about Rainbow Falls is that technically Rainbow could have flown with either team. It's that the Wonderbolts, they lied. So in the end, there really was only one logical choice to make. But without that here, there were ways around that. And it's very interesting to see how that all went down. And I think the real thing here in the loyalty lesson was that knowing that with Rainbow Dash choosing to remain loyal when she learns the truth and choosing Ponyville, that showed her loyalty, but it also taught a lesson to those around her. honestly, it's very interesting here because season 4 we also get Daring Don't in the introduction of Daring Do as kind of a mentor figure to Rainbow Dash. And arguably, I'd almost say slightly a better mentor role model than the Wonderbolts. You can fight me on this if you want, but I really think Daring Do, because the thing about Daring Do is that Daring Do is awesome. He's amazing, but isn't perfect, but in such a way that she really is always trying her best. The Wonderbolts, they had some things they had to learn that were a little at times, I'm not gonna lie, and that's fine. I'm okay with that too, but I really think that first, I'm not gonna lie, I was not a big fan of Daring Do being real when that episode first aired. I'm like, what are they doing? You don't bring Indiana Jones into the real world, though. That would be awesome. But anyway, you have this you have this character that seems larger than life, but is just real in the end. And what a bigger confidence boost. What a big confidence boost for somebody like Rainbow Dash who has internal anxiety. We've seen it. To see someone else who she perceives as larger than life also not be perfect and also need a hand. Showing that it's not just about being the personal best, it's also about getting help when you need it. Testing 1 2 3, of course. I don't have time to get deep into that there, but it's very interesting. It was an interesting way of talking about how everybody's different learning styles, and especially those who might have learning disabilities and such, and that you might need to get creative ways, and it can be very frustrating and defeating, and that feeds into anxieties and such. Traja, I have a lot of fun with the Traja episode, and again, it's another chance of Rainbow Dash getting kind of in over her head in the moment, but realizing she needs to save her friends. In the sense of Fluttershy in that episode there. It's not saving their life necessarily, but, preventing something from happening to her friend that they don't want. Castlemania, more Applejack and Rainbow Dash. All right, we got to go super to speed mode because I think I only have 17. Whoa, okay, we are running low on time. Season 5, Tanks for the Memories. Anxiety. She's so scared of losing her pet that she loves so much for the winter that she goes for broke. And that's part of Rainbow Dash's character, is that she overreacts. Let's face it. But I think there's a reason to that. Anxiety causes us to overreact. I've done it here. And the biggest issue I think with Tanks for the Memories is the fact that in the end you don't see her taking any repercussions. But I think it's a big episode. I've done, if you look up my old Keeping Friendship Magic panels, I do a whole section on learning about grief from this episode. So I'm not going to get into it here, but definitely worth looking up. Lost Treasure of Griffinstone, learning about reconnecting with friends, and that just because somebody was a jerk at one point doesn't mean that they're irredeemable. Rarity Investigates. Keep this one in mind, people, for later. Rarity Investigates shows us here that Rainbow Dash learns about the fact that some pony that you don't expect can do such great things and be there for you. Really clear bonding moment between Rainbow Dash and Rarity. Brotherhood Social continues the Scootaloo Rainbow Dash connection and mentorship. Season 6, though, we got to talk about New B Dash, one of the best episodes of the season. Fight me if you don't agree. You don't really fight me, but Newbie Dash, so good, so good. I felt like it really showed how it is in tight kind of like fraternity type of scenarios there, where like an athletic team, a military, military group you have these ways of this kind of like dogging one another and being able to kind of break a little bit of yourself to become part of a team. And Rainbow Dash needed it. And one of my favorite scenes in the entire show is this right here.
Hey, Rainbow Dash. We just wanted to check on you. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Sure you don't need any help?
Nah, this mess is my responsibility, and I've got to clean it up myself. And after this, Spitfire's got me cleaning the Wonderbolt's compound for the next month.
So why are you in such a good mood?
Duh, because I'm a Wonderbolt.
I love it! Rainbow Dash learns a lesson in the clearest way about taking responsibility for her actions in a way that she hadn't up until that point. It finally happened. It got it in there. And it was beautiful. And it was wonderful. And we had so many great things about learning her humility, learning that she can be herself and still be awesome, but still be, you know, needs to be part of a team, that it's not all about her. It's great. You know, Stranger Than Fan Fiction is another one of my favorite episodes with a great lesson, and I wish I had more time to talk about it. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. We talked about one of my favorite episodes of the whole series. Now let's talk about one of my least favorite episodes of the entire series.
That wasn't funny. You really scared me. I hope you're happy.
Nope, you're too easy. You're scared of everything.
That's not true. Who are we gonna squirt? Who are we gonna squirt?
Fluttershy.
What? No. We can't prank Fluttershy. I mean, she's so sensitive. It'll hurt her feelings, even our most harmless prank.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. We need another victim who's made of tougher stuff. So, who's it gonna be?
5.5 seasons of character development. 5.5 seasons of learning about Fluttershy, protecting her, being there for her honor, respecting her. Gone. I know people make mistakes and people slip up, but dang, I've never understood this episode at all. And I would go as far as to say I hate it. I do know that the person who wrote it never wrote for Pony before that. This was their only episode ever. So it makes me, that calls some things into question, and I hate to dog on writers because I don't want to do that. Because there are so many, and I want to be clear about this. I'm not dogging on anybody specifically. It's just one of those things where you start wondering, but there's a lot of people and pieces that go together to make an episode happen. And I don't have time to get into it all right now, but bottom line is something happened in the process of this episode to bring it in. I don't think it needed to exist, at least not in the way it was, because we already had this. You can stumble again, but this was 5.5 seasons later, and a big, like, you take Newbie Dash, you take all that character development, and then I don't get it. And it was such a disappointment. I remember watching it live, and my friends and I were texting each other back and forth, while the opening credits were rolling and going, what just happened? And yeah, I could rant about that episode for a long time. It never made sense to me. I could see it earlier in the series, but not season 6. Keep that in mind. We're coming back to that in a moment. Season 7, we learned something very interesting, though, about Rainbow Dash. We get to see her parents, finally. Very interesting. We finally get to meet her parents and find out a little more about what makes Rainbow Dash from the get-go.
Believe it or not, there was a time when I wasn't the best at everything. See this picture? It looks like I won something awesome, but actually...
And last but not least, it's time to hand out our participant stickers. Yeah!
Rainbow!
Yeah, Rainbow Dash, you show up! Greatest participant ever!
Your parents realize you didn't win, don't they?
Granted, I was the youngest pony in the senior competitive circuit. Most other ponies my age were still in the junior flappers club. I thought it was utterly mortifying having my parents cheer me on even when I lost. But then, when I started to win competitions, which didn't take very long, by the way, things got even worse.
Yeah! Rainbow! Yeah, Rainbow Dash, you show up!
Being the best came with consequences. Very loud, very embarrassing consequences.
You know, some ponies would dream of having parents like that.
Yeah, right. Name one.
Me. Growing up, I never thought I'd be the best at anything because no pony ever told me. But your parents told you over and over again.
We get to learn, whoops. We get to learn in season 7 there about Rainbow Dash's parents and them building her up. And I honestly feel like, let's talk about that anxiety about being the best. Setting that expectation so early. Granted, it's great to support. But then there's also that fine line. And who isn't embarrassed by their parents? But it did push her to be the best. But also recognizing where that falls within herself. And there's that fine balance. And God, I wish I had more time to get into this because we have like 7 minutes left. So sounds like a part 2. There might have to be a part 2 to this panel if you want it. Let me know if you want it. I'm not seeing the chat right now, but I'll check it afterwards because I don't have time to read it right now. But I'll read it afterwards if you want a part 2 of this, and we'll dive deeper. But gosh, that like drawing that line between what you get built up as by your parents and what feels true to you internally. I feel like that's a struggle we all face, and we get to see it in Rainbow Dash here. But it also, again, we get that humility here in learning this lesson and hearing it from Scootaloo, that the way Rainbow Dash's eyes kind of perk up when Scootaloo says, I would love that. Nobody's ever told me that. And looking at things from a new perspective. Very important to keep in mind. All right, season 8, Granny's Gone Wild. Fun as hell episode. I love it. Non-compete clause is a little late in the series for it, but again, we get more Rainbow Dash and Applejack competitiveness, but it's always in there while they're competitive. It never damages their friendship. I'm going to say it, they love each other. You can tell in the end of each episode like that. End and Friend, if this had been earlier in the series, I would have bought it. Her and Rarity trying to kind of figure out what it is that makes them compatible. But granted, we already went through Rarity Investigates. You have your compatibility right there. The Washouts, great episode for kind of solidifying that Scootaloo mentorship and protecting Scootaloo when she needs it. Season 9, though, we got to talk about Season 9's 246 great for a second here.
I don't mean to sound ungrateful. It's just, when you said you wanted my help with something important, I thought you meant something important.
The cheer squad is important.
Oh, well, sure, cheer squad is totally important to some pony who isn't me, but I'm more about ponies playing in the game, not cheering for it.
I mean, it's great that some ponies only want to cheer, though I don't know why they would. Well, maybe this will be a good opportunity for you to find out.
What have we learned?
Lots of control.
Good.
Screaming and hollering.
Yes, and most importantly,
Passion.
right. So now that you know the elements of a good cheer, let's hear one.
Yay.
Ugh, you're gonna cheer for me like that? Louder.
Yay.
Louder!
Yay.
Louder!
Yay. Too loud.
The number one thing I've realized about Rainbow Dash is it felt like, okay, some point I'll probably do a Fluttershy panel too, because I believe that Fluttershy is one of the best, most developed characters in the entire series. And it's like everybody learned how to write Fluttershy and forgot how to write Rainbow Dash towards the end of the series, because it became Rainbow Dash is just being Rainbow Dash from season 1 again and forgetting all of the lessons she had learned up until that point. And again, you can stumble, but Yay was one of the most memeable, quintessential, important moments in, like, I shouldn't say important, but come on, season 1, it was so big. So to take that a cheer is important thing that was a core thing of Rainbow Dash and just throw it out the window and say I never understood this, kind of doesn't feel right. I really want to get in the other episodes, but I have a big thing to show you, and I'm almost out of time. Let's talk about how Rainbow Dash ends the series briefly.
Maybe we could get to places on time if you let me do some of the chores instead of always doing everything yourself.
Maybe I would if you did them the right way. Oh, sorry. We're not the last ones, are we?
Just a quick moment there, but it really, come on. Rainbow Dash and Applejack getting together, the clues were always there. Rainbow Dash wearing the Wonderbolt jacket with her hair the way it was. She's still her in that moment, but I feel like she ended up where she belongs, with the person she belongs with, in the role she should have. So I have 2 minutes left, so I have to show you what else I did. So we looked at a lot of things here. We looked at a lot of character progression and then a lot of crashing. I wish I could have gotten into the crashing moments more, but time constraints. We'll either do a second round and just talk about different things, or I'm just going to make this an hour-and-a-half long panel next time. So here's what I did. I had written down every single Rainbow Dash-centric episode that I could think of here. So what did I do? I took them and I reorganized every Rainbow Dash episode. Now keep in mind, where I reorganized them, this is about Rainbow Dash's character progression only. Ignore the fact of whether Twilight's a princess or not. Ignore the fact of what else is happening. Think about this next slide in terms of just character progression of Rainbow Dash. If you want to talk about true character progression, you take some of these later season episodes and you move them early. So if Rainbow Dash's the very first Rainbow Dash centric episode is 28 pranks later, all of a sudden it puts that episode in a different frame, a different context, and you can have fun with it. Follow it up with Fall Weather Friends, but then you got to take 2, 4, 6 grade out of season 9 and put it back in season 1, so she can learn that lesson about how important cheering is. And then you can throw in Griffin the Brush Off and Sonic Rainboom with it, because it's clearly there's something there where it's a build off of what came before, so you can build and keep learning the lesson. I also moved the End in Friend all the way up from season 8 to season 2. Why did I do that? Because it needs to be before Rarity Investigates, because Rarity Investigates brings that bond of them together here. Secrets and Pies, I also moved up to season 3 here, because it just feels like Rainbow Dash, while we all have those moments where we might fib to a friend, it's a little intense as deep into the series as it gets. Thanks for the Memories, I also buy as an earlier season episode here. Mainly because of the fact that she doesn't learn, or that she doesn't get repercussions in it. I feel it's a little easier to swallow in an earlier season here. Feel free, I really wish I had more time to go into this slide, but it is 10 o'clock exactly, and I'm going to get kicked out of the room. So maybe screenshot this and take a look and let me know what you think. I definitely think some of these things here could be interchangeable and working around here But think about it. Think about this. Even if you hate Rainbow Dash, take a look at this timeline and rethink about the character. And think about the fact of how learning lessons progressively and growing as a character in this manner. And you'll see Rainbow Dash can be more potentially than what we all thought. And realizing that something is a little different and being able to accept it and grow with it, well, hell, that's what I call keeping friendship magic. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. I'm sorry I had to rush through a little bit of that. Lesson learned for next time. If you like what you hear from me, I want to see more, let me know. You can always become a patron at patreon.com/KFM if you want to support us. It helps promote the podcast and hosting. It helps get us to cons here so we can do more of this great content here. We'd love to see you at an in-person con when it comes up. We're trying to raise some money right now in the hopes of getting to Ponyville Cider Fest in November. So if you want to donate to that, I won't stop you. You can check out our podcast at kfm.buzzsprout.com is our podcast hub. We also have our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/keepingfriendshipmagic, or you can find me on Twitter. That being said, thank you all again for joining me on this exploration of the character that is Dash Dash Rainbow Dash. Thank you. Stay awesome out there, my friends. Love you all, and I will see you all in 15 minutes. Where I'll be joining in for Equestria's Next Top Artist, along with some amazing people like the Rift Ponies, Miss Nova Rose, Baja Griffin, Pirate Dash, and more. Inky Notebook's going to be with us too. I'm sorry if I forgot anybody. Love you all. See you on the flip side. Thank you for watching.
A huge thank you to our patrons, SamuDash, Jason Kuzmak, Statman Dan, NeverendingNerd, Riftwing Designs, and Frenchie McHugh. Without your support, this project wouldn't be possible.